In this video, we are going to look at the Contracts tab. A typical way to use it is to keep track of forward and spot contracts of grain. It totals the amount contracted, averages the price, and tells the percentage of the crop contracted. It also tells the amount of crop contracted on a per area basis and the amount of crop remaining that is not yet contracted. It can be a great tool to help with marketing, and if used along with the Sales tab, tells amounts remaining on open contracts. When you select the Contracts tab, you will see the management selectors at the top of the screen change from Year, Operator, Farm, Field, and Crop to just Year, Operator, and Crop. This is because the Contracts tab and the Sales tab are designed around the common practice of grain being commingled in storage across an operation. If you haven't already done so, select the year, operator, and crop you wish to add the contract data to. Click an empty contract number cell and type in the contract number from your contract paperwork. Select who the contract is with from the Buyers column. If you wish to add a new buyer, you would do that from the Descriptions menu. From there, go to the Sales and Storage section. Click on Buyer Info. For now, we will use a buyer already in the system. You may notice the Date column already has the current date in it. Just like the Inputs and Harvest tabs, there are 3 ways to edit the date. If the date is close to what you want, you can simply use the plus and minus keys on your keyboard to adjust it up or down. If you want to make a large change, you can double-click on it, and a calendar will pop up. It opens with the current year, month, and day, but just select the year, month, and day you want, and the calendar will close and fill in the date you selected. If after opening the calendar you decide the current date is what you want after all, double-click the day and it will close with the current day in the date. One more way to edit the date is to highlight the date and type in what you want from the keyboard. Use the same procedure on the due date as you did on the Date column. To enter the date, the contract must be filled by. Select what kind of contract it is from the Type cell, such as forward or spot, for example. If you wish to add a new contract type, you would do that from the Descriptions menu. From there, go to the Sales and Storage section, click on Contract Types. For now, we will use a contract type already in the system. Type in the quantity of the contract in the Quantity column. The Harvest and Unit columns are a pair. By default, they will fill in with data from how crop types were set up from the Descriptions menu. If more than one harvest unit for the crop was set up there, you can click on the Harvest cell and ID numbers with the corresponding harvest unit will be available to pick from. Most growers will probably have just one harvest unit per crop. But if you wanted to track grain in pounds during harvest and change to bushels while loading out of bins, you would have 2 harvest units in the Crop Types window. And just so you know, the Harvest and Unit columns will default to the first harvest unit in the list from the Crop Types window. Type in the contracted price per harvest unit in the Price column. The total dollar column will calculate the dollar value of the contract by multiplying the quantity times the price. The balance column will come into play if you use the Sales tab. The balance column displays the quantity remaining in a contract as sales are applied to that contract. Just like the Inputs and Harvest tabs, the Notes column has two ways to enter data. One way is to just start typing. The text can wrap on past the width of the column. The other way is to double-click on the Notes cell. A window will pop up allowing all of the text of the note to be seen. When done typing, click OK and the text will be stored in the Notes column. After entering a few contracts, you will see the Summary section at the bottom of the screen display the quantity remaining, update the percent contracted of the total production, update the quantity contracted, the total dollars contracted, update the quantity per area contracted, and update the average price. In the Summary section is the Production button. It will toggle between default production to actual production. Click it to select whether or not you want to display the calculated quantity from the default yield and crop price that was entered in the Operation Setup window, or the actual harvested quantity. You can see the difference in the math in the Production Summary section, total, quantity remaining, and percent contracted when you toggle this button. When you close the program, it will remember how the Production button is toggled and will use that selection the next time it is opened. The Contracts tab is a great tool to help with marketing by using default production in the current season prior to harvest and in a new year to help market new crop, but use actual production when the current season's harvest is completed to help finish old crop marketing. Thank you for choosing Pro Ag Manager, and check back for more videos on how to use the program.